Hello again, everybody. Our next team on the college football preview series, the Texas A&M Aggies. I'll be joined by Justin Woodard in a few minutes. Justin is the sports director of our sister station, KHOU TV, up in College Station. We'll talk Aggies heading into the 2022 season, everything you need to know about Texas A&M. Now, these Aggies rank 7th in the preseason coaches poll. Jimbo Fisher's program is getting the top recruits year in and year out to commit, but translating that to winning, at least winning the way the Aggie fans want them to win, has been the tricky part. Jimbo is entering his 5th year in College Station. The Aggies during that time are 34-14, and at times have shown those flashes of just what kind of a juggernaut they can be if they're able to finally put things together, like they did nearly 2 years ago when they won the Orange Bowl after barely missing the college football playoff. I mentioned the recruiting. Well, Jimbo and his staff are dominating that. Just don't ask Nick Saban's thoughts about that topic. It's all about getting that young talent they're bringing in and getting it to speed up quickly to the speed of the SEC. Well, schedule-wise, let's take a look. Interesting non-conference game with Miami early. The Hurricanes are another one of those programs that have talent, just can't put it together. As for the conference part of the schedule, well, they play in the toughest division in all of college football, and the middle part of it is tough. 3 straight road games mixed in with a bye in there. Games to Mississippi State, Alabama, and South Carolina. They're not going to be a walk in the park, but they get some home cooking towards the end of this schedule as Florida visits Kyle Field along with LSU and Ole Miss. So let's hear from the guys, Jimbo Fisher included, as they get set to open the season against Sam Houston State. Rival from just down the road, at least a rival for Sam Houston State maybe. They open up on Saturday, September 3rd.
I'm very anxious because you never get a true gauge of that, and it doesn't matter. I mean, till the numbers on the scoreboard have lights on them, and those numbers matter. That's when guys, you want to see how they react and do it. And like I say, there'll be some it may bother, some it may enhance. I mean, that's always the way it is. I mean, until they get used to it or whatever, or they may all do it from the get-go. I mean, I've had it go in every way possible. You've coached as many years as I have. But you love to see the first days when they're out there and the excitement in their eyes and to go compete and play for Texas A&M and, fulfill a lifetime dream of what they're having to do.
First game of the season always going to set the tone for the rest of the season. So, I mean, this game here is a big one, just like any other game. We're definitely going to take this game just like we play in the national championship. And along with every other game, it's not going to be a play where we take off and make sure that we're doing everything right. Really just trying to be great.
I know the system we have is a very good system. It's been proven for a long period of time. I think our players are executing it very well right now. And I think we're healthy. And a lot of the guys, we haven't had a lot of guys that, you get trying to get ready and all of a sudden get injured and you have to put other guys in or less experienced and things that go on. So I think from a practice standpoint, now, I always feel confident in our guys. We got to go out there and play.
Thanks, guys. Now we talk to Justin Woodard from KHOU TV in College Station, our sister station. Justin, well-versed in all things Aggies.
Good to see you, Justin. Let's talk all things Aggies, right? So I've been asking all the beat writers and all the journalists that I've been talking to breaking down these teams. When I say Texas A&M football in 2022, what do you think of?
I think they better live up to the hype. Number 6 in the preseason poll, coming off an 8-4 season. I was like, oh, we're really a top 10 team around here in Aggie land. I think, Daniel, 2023 is the one where I'd be like, holy cow, look out for Texas A&M. I still think they're a year away. But you look at that loaded freshman class, interested to see what they do against Sam Houston on Saturday. Ideally, you get a big lead, right? Let those 5 stars come in and start getting some playing experience. Haynes King, a quarterback's been named the starter. I knew that was going to be kind of the deal all along. Just familiarity with the offense and his dual threat ability kind of think separated him in the quarterback race. But yeah, let's see this 5-star heralded number 1 class get some playing time early on Saturday. Is what the first thoughts come to mind. And again, that number 6 ranking into the season, better live up to it, I guess. It's time.
I was talking to the folks over in Austin. I guess in College Station is kind of the same way, right? I always think of expectation versus reality is the biggest thing for a lot of these fan bases. Some are a little bit more in tune to that duo than others. But I think for A&M, this is the 5th year of Jimbo Fisher, 34-14. Yeah, I know Aggie fans want more. I get it. But, I mean, he's built the program to a spot where he's getting top 5 recruits. It's like almost a lock at this point that he's getting these top 5 recruiting classes.
Absolutely. And I guess, Daniel, what COVID, that Orange Bowl doesn't count, does it? I guess, you just, I mean, they still went 9-1 against an all SEC schedule in 2020 and won the Orange Bowl. I mean, it was their first time to win a major bowl game since, I guess, Johnny won the Cotton Bowl over Oklahoma. So, look, 2 years removed from an Orange Bowl, it's not like, oh, the sky is falling. You lost your starting quarterback in game 2 last year at Colorado. And you could give Zach Calzada all the heart you want. The kid battled, but he's not Haynes King. And he just, I think, got backup or third string at Auburn. So you could tell that, look, Jimbo was handicapped a little bit on offense last year. The defense, though, top 5 in the nation in terms of points allowed last year. So the defensive pieces can really carry this ball club if the offense still needs to find its footing. King, of course, I mean, he hadn't played football in a year. So let's see what he does. But, boy, the defense, I think, has a chance to be really, really good for Texas A&M. And like you said, we had to do a thing for the newspaper here. And I said Aggies go 9-3. I think they go 9-3. That stretch away from Kyle Field for a month, that's not going to be easy. I don't think a lot of programs have to deal with that. So let's see how they handle that stretch in the middle of the season. Starting SEC play against Arkansas, and then they don't come back to Kyle Field for a month, Daniel. So I think that part of the season pretty critical.
Yeah, and look, before you may circle that Arkansas game as okay, well that's a win, but look, that's not so easy anymore because Arkansas has definitely turned some things around. Well, you mentioned Haynes King, named the starter this past weekend. Probably not a surprise to a lot of people that he's back. You've been out there at camp. You've been seeing him play. How's he look? It seems like from the video that I've seen, he's moving around nicely, and I'm sure he's got to be very, very excited to get back because what happened to him last year, that was just so frustrating.
It really was. I think we get kicked out after about 15 minutes. You know how it goes. So
that's
I
right.
see some soft toss
that
here
happens
and there.
with the Texans too. Yes, it happens all the time.
But no, all kidding aside, I think the highlight that stands out, if you go back to the spring game that I sent you guys on the read option, and he took it 25 yards to the house. Now, I know, I think he scores no matter what, spring game or not. So he showed that ability that he's still got the speed to run. I think it'll be very interesting early on. How much does he use his legs? Maybe try to become more of a little pocket passer that he's, grown up a little bit here. But he looks great. We finally got to see some deep balls to the wide receivers. Throws a very nice deep ball. That's kind of been the big talk this year, too, with the Aggies. How do we not play mud in the box football now? Can we get down the field and throw the ball down the field? And he's looked really good doing that. So high expectations for number 13.
Well, and he does bring that mobility a little bit, and we've seen this offense do so well in the past with a guy who can move a little bit more than just standing back there in the pocket. And look, he's got weapons. That's for sure. Devon Achane, as he's one of our favorites, obviously Marshall kid, and he's the fastest guy probably in the SEC. Just get him out in space. I feel like they've misused him in the past couple of years because he's such a dynamic talent, but I guess he kind of steps into a bigger role this year. As far as the skill players go, how is this offense stacking up?
Yeah, I think that's what everybody's really excited about. I think it's night and day, the speed of this Aggie football team from when I got here in 2018 to now. It's like night and day. I mean, like you said, you can throw a little screen to Devon and he's gone. True freshman Evan Stewart brings elite speed on the outside. He's looked really, really good. You'll know Chris Marshall, okay, another freshman, not probably as fast, but a bigger body on the outside that can go up and get the football. So, and then Anais is just the wily veteran right in the slot. I mean, he can move him around in the backfield, run an option with him, sling it out to him. So, yes, they got a lot of pieces, and I think that's what everybody's really excited about now is we might see this explosive offense that Jimbo Fisher is used to having. And look, 2020 was a dang good offense. They ran the ball a lot, but it was a dang good offense. But man, A-Chain averaging over 7 yards a carry every time he touched the ball. I mean, give the dude the ball.
No, I'm with you. I'm sometimes watching Aggie games and I'm like, why are they not giving this guy more touches? I mean, he needs to get more touches, and hopefully that happens this year. Now the question is, will that line be good enough to hold up for it? And it's always a question for every program, right? But if you're going to be in the SEC West, you better bring it with the guys in front.
Yeah, so the right side of the line, Daniel, is rock solid, right? Reuben Fatheree had to start as a freshman, so he is back for his sophomore campaign. You have preseason All-American Layden Robinson at right guard. At center, presumably it's Bryce Foster, who had also, like Fodry, start as a freshman last year because of injuries. So that from the center to the right spot, right tackle, just run right for a little bit if you have to. But yeah, left guard has been an intense battle all camp long. Aki Agumbe, likely your starter there on Saturday. And then left tackle is Trey Zoom, who's another young pup. But Fisher has raved about him. So it's set for the most part. Wyckoff is another guy down in Magnolia area who's pushed for playing time. So anyways, yeah, there's certainly pieces there, but there's no doubt that the right side of the line probably in better shape right now than the left until we can see them out there on the field.
Yeah, I know a couple of those guys train down here at Plex still, Plex Performance,
Okay.
and good dudes. Talked to those guys, I think, in the off season, and they're good dudes. So hopefully that does hold up on the right side. Defensively, you touched on defense, could be the strength of the team again. So just kind of walk me through that. What have you seen in camp, and how excited are the folks up there in Aggieland to see the defense really get after it again?
Yeah, for sure. I know we want to talk about Walter Nolan and all those guys, the 5 stars, but in the middle, I mean, look, you got Isaiah Race and McKinley Jackson coming back. Played a ton last year, so in the middle, you're strong. And then you're right, though, the pass rush. A lot of sacks gone. Michael Clemens is lighting up for the Jets right now in the preseason. Just took Tyrod Taylor's head off you the other day, so look out.
I saw that. Oh, boy, I felt bad for Tyrod, man. He's got to have a bad stretch here after last year to this. But yeah, good for Clemens. That was a hell of a hit.
It was. And DeMarvin Leal also gone. Tyree Johnson gone too. So a lot of sacks that got to be replaced. And the 2 guys right now, Tamise on the edge and Fidel Diggs is on the edge. They're your starters. But tell you what, that Shamar Stewart kid's pretty dang good as a true freshman 5-star. So I really do think there's going to be a lot of rotation up front early on, Daniel. But that's the key to me, pass rush. But your back end is lights out. Antonio Johnson's going to be a first-round draft pick unless something crazy happens. And they like to move him around from the nickel to the safety, so he plays everywhere. You got a senior, Damani Richardson, at safety, too. And then the corners that had to play a lot last year due to injury. Brian George is back from injury, and Jalen Jones on the outside, too. So I think the secondary can be very, very good. Just matter if you can replace that sack reduction. And Adrian Cooper at linebacker is a missile. I mean, he doesn't miss a tackle. So I really think that side of the ball sets up. More turnovers, though, I'll tell you that. They need to get the ball more if they can.
Well, one of the things they were talking about down here with Dana Holgerson and U of H was the fact that now he is into year 4, and now Jimbo's into year 5. Dana's really impressed with the fact that they've got the 2 deep now, right? They've got enough depth. Is that where you think Jimbo has kind of built this? Yes, they've gotten more high quality recruits and marquee players, but still they got to go over to College Station and then perform and develop. But Jimbo's got to feel happy where he is now with the 2 deep. Now this is his 5th year.
No question about it. I think that's another strength of this team. If somebody goes down, you're not going to see a big drop off as in past years. It's like, hey, your starter goes down, you're in trouble. But again, they're so young. I mean, I think there's only a dozen seniors on this team. So I think the big question too is, Ali, how are the bright lights of Kyle Field? I mean, can you handle it?
Yeah.
But they are deep. They are deep.
So let's talk. You touched on the schedule, so let's go there. In the early part, I think that Miami game is kind of interesting. Week 3, right? Week 3,
Yes.
The 17th. Yeah, that game is kind of interesting. You never know with Miami. I feel like A&M and Miami, they got a lot of talent. Now A&M is probably a better team, but there's always those question marks. I mean, Miami's got a lot of talent, but they never put it together, right? So it's one of those things. And then the middle part of the schedule with Mississippi State, South Carolina. I know South Carolina wasn't very good. I get that, but still, you're going on the road, and then Alabama. We already know what that environment's going to be like. We don't need to really address it. But how do you break down this schedule, really? And how can the Aggies really capitalize on certain parts of it, you think?
Right. So I'm with you. Miami, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. ESPN probably be like, hey, let's push that back a little longer. Let's wait. So you can cover that if you want to. We won't be out here till 1 a.m. So feel free to.
You know what? I might actually be up there for that game, to be honest with you. Yeah.
But that is going to be a lot of fun. I think, given the FCS teams their money, and like Sam Houston, they need the money for their program too. But you can't beat a marquee non-conference game, right? Georgia, Oregon this weekend. I mean, that's going to be fun to watch. right?
Sure.
So I do love those big non-conference games. But I think you nailed it. So let's say you're 3-0, right? Take care of business, all 3 home games. Go up to Jerry's World. You beat Arkansas, which I think will be a squeaker. So you're 4-0, right? And then you begin that stretch. Last time I checked, Will Rogers is still slinging it for Mike Leach at Mississippi State, and they torched A&M last year. Yeah. So that starts the stretch. So my biggest thing is that game to me, Daniel, is very, very big. You lose that, and then you got to go to Alabama. You're staring at 2 losses in a row, bang, bang, after a 3-0 hot start. So that game at Mississippi State, to me, by far the most pivotal game on the schedule besides Alabama. And then you get to rest for a week, and then you nailed it. You got to go to Columbia, beating them 8 times in a row. The last 3 blowout fashion. Of course, Shane Beamer bringing in a lot of transfers. No secret about that. So he's going to rely on a bunch of transfers. And then, then you got to come back home and take care of business against Arkansas and Auburn. Or I'm sorry, you got to go to Auburn, but you got to take care of business against LSU at the end.
Florida's coming to town,
sir,
too.
Yes, sir, for the crossover game. I forgot about that. So that's why I said 9-3, just because I think that stretch in there is going to be really, really tough. But 10-2 is possible. But, that Mississippi State game, I have it circled.
Justin Woodard, thanks, man. I appreciate you breaking things down from the Aggies' perspective. I can't wait. I'm gonna go up to a couple of games this year at KHOU Field. I have not been since they redid it. So
no way.
I know. In fact, what was the last? I can't remember the last game I was up there, but I was at the last UT A&M game. I will say that was a long time ago. But I can't wait to see KHOU Field back the way it is. I'm sure on TV it looks just amazing. It's unbelievable.
It's been rocking. I think they released in the game notes today, I think 4 of the top 5 most attended games have been since 2019. So like you said, the renovations play a big part of that. But the fans show up. There's no doubt about it. 12th man's rocking.
All right, Justin, appreciate you. We'll see you down the road.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Justin. Let's see what the Aggies have to offer us in 2022. Some great moments I'm sure will take place, with some heartbreaking ones mixed in as usual. That's what they're trying to break up there in College Station. Let's get some consistency with these wins. Hopefully that team can put it all together. Aggie fans know what I'm talking about. We continue with our college preview series with Baylor. That's on the next episode, and I'll see you then.